Hi everyone, this is Peter here. Welcome back to another macro episode. I was gonna vlog in the field, but unfortunately the last few days it's been raining on and off. So instead I decided to put this compilation of shots together. The shots in this compilation were taken both at the local nature reserve and in our garden. The setup remains the same that I've been using the last couple of weeks. I've really fallen in love with the Nisi 58mm close-up lens stacked with the Raynox DCR snap-on lens. Not only does this setup boost the magnification to about 3x, the image quality also remains exceptional in my opinion. If you'd like to check out some comparisons between multiple setups that I've been using for quite some time and have had quite a bit of experience with, I will leave links to all the relevant videos in the description, so feel free to have a look. I've got several really interesting species that I want to show you in this video, including one particular subject that I had been trying to take a decent shot of for quite some time, and luckily we finally got the shot that I have been after. So let's roll those images now and I will briefly talk about the subjects. Let's start with some spider species first. In the first few shots, which I captured at the local wetlands, you can see a few different orb weavers. In the first image, the specimen was wrapping its victim in some spider silk. I wanted to capture its entire body within its natural environment with enough depth of field in a single frame. So for this shot, I only used the Nisi 58mm while turning the focusing ring towards infinity. The next two shots are of a different specimen with really beautiful patterns on its abdomen. This one was feeding on a pre-digested victim as well. In this following image, you can see a typical orb weaver that was extremely tiny, and I used the maximum magnification of this setup to fill the entire frame with the subject, but it was moving around non-stop, so I didn't even try to create a stacked shot. This next extreme close-up is of a sex spider, I believe, but not entirely sure. I think this male was mating with a female, which you can barely see just beneath him. This stacked image consists of 7 individual shots, which I'm quite happy with considering how breezy it was that day. This following portrait shows an ant-eating spider that was resting in a small crevice on a wooden fence, but only stayed still briefly, so I only managed to create a shallow stack of 3 shots of this specimen. This comb-footed spider was described back in 1868, and as of now, 75 species belong to this genus. The next several shots are of garden jumping spiders that I captured on our Swiss cheese plant. They are extremely cute and friendly, very inquisitive, and I always have so much fun photographing them or taking videos. If you love jumping spiders, I highly recommend you check out my playlists called Jumping Spiders and Peacock Spiders. I think you will love some of that content. These first few shots were taken on 2 different occasions, and I think these are of the same specimen, a rather large species called massive garden jumping spider. Most shots are just single images taken at different magnification and from different angles, but this one consists of 6 individual frames when this little beauty momentarily stopped and posed for me. The last 4 images are of another specimen. This one was significantly smaller, I'd say between 4 and 6mm. I think it was a female based on the lighter coloration, and I was super surprised when I zoomed in on this last shot and I noticed that she was holding something between her fangs. Maybe a tiny springtail, I'm not entirely sure. I'm really happy with the next series of shots of a beautiful crab spider I captured. I had seen this species before once or twice, but these images are by far the best I've taken so far. It was resting on a small leaf of a flowering shrub, then unexpectedly just took off and started climbing down a stem when all of a sudden it pounced on another spider and immediately envenomated it. I managed to grab multiple shots at different magnification ratios while it was dragging its prey into the denser area of its habitat, and I'm very happy especially with this tech-sharp image where you can see all those tiny eyes on its cephalothorax and the spiky hairs on its abdomen, which had interesting colors and patterns. This next image was taken in our backyard, where a colony of rainbow ants have been building a small nest between a brick wall and our wooden fence. I managed to focus on a single specimen's head as it was peeking through the opening, with several others either leaving or waiting for their turn to enter their abode. The next couple of shots are of a small caterpillar, most likely that of a tiger moth that I noticed on the leaf of a small sapling. The second, higher magnification shot was stacked but only from 2 images, as I had to hold the branch still while being quite close to those urticating hairs, which you should stay away from as they can cause severe irritation if they pierce your skin. I've always been fascinated by the anatomy of caterpillars. Those tiny feet and uniquely shaped mouthparts and small eyes look so amazing on this particular specimen. The next couple of shots are of a relatively small fly I captured on one of our succulents. This first shot is probably my favorite, and the second one, which is a frontal portrait, is a 4-image stack with some focal planes missing as it didn't stay still long enough. I decided to include this next extreme macro of another fly species called blue bottlefly, which was much larger. This individual frame was taken at the maximum magnification ratio while it was cleaning its tubular mouthpart called proboscis. If I fully zoom in, you can see how much intricate detail this setup is capable of capturing. Our second last subject is a cranefly that I stumbled upon hiding between leaves in our rock garden. This species is found in a wide range of habitats, in swamps, marshes, leaf litter, and in wet spots in woods. In this second high magnification shot, you can see all the differently colored ommatidia that make up its compound eyes. So here we are at our last subject that I get really excited about. As I said before, I had been trying to capture a decent high magnification shot of a beautiful speckled orb weaver for quite some time, but up until now I hadn't been successful. This species is rather tiny, and I was really fortunate that it stayed still for me for about half a minute when I finally managed to grab 13 shots to create a deeper stack that shows off all those gorgeous colors and patterns on its large abdomen and plenty of intricate detail in the setae around its eyes. Thank you so much for watching. If you're unsure about something, then feel free to get in touch. I'd be happy to help if I can. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again, and see you all very soon in the next one.